Good, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Minjin Cho in DATT class, and welcome to my presentation. In this presentation, I want to talk about how worse and worse the melting glaciers are getting and how severe the situation is. As you can see here, this slide is all done by me, and it also won a Pulitzer Prize. If you happen to have any kind of questions during my presentation, feel free to ask when it ends. I've divided my presentation into four main topics. Firstly, I will talk about some factors that might cause the melting glaciers, and secondly, I will persuade you guys that glaciers are important in our lives, and then I will explain the effects that melting glaciers will bring, and lastly, I will talk about if we actually have no chance of saving these glaciers. After my presentation ends, I will give you guys a short quiz and answer questions. Since the early 1900s, many glaciers around the world have been rapidly melting, and human activities are at the root of this phenomenon. Whether or not the primary reason of glaciers melting is carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gas emissions. And after the Industrial Revolution, carbon dioxide and greenhouse gas emissions have raised temperatures, and as a result, glaciers are rapidly warming, calving off into the sea and retreating onto the land. Now I will move on to the importance of glaciers. Glaciers act like a protective cover over the earth and our oceans. They reflect the heat from the sun and keep the planet cooler. Also, glaciers provide a record of how climate has changed over time. And this helps scientists study, and that study helps us to understand the extent of which planet is warming. And of course, they provide a habitat for animals such as penguins, polar bears, reindeers, and mountain goats, and many more. If people don't take proper measures, many people will be at risk. There are many glaciers in the world, such as Antarctica, Greenland, Iceland, and Nepal's Himalayan mountain. But what will happen if all these ice masses melt? Global sea level would rise to approximately 70 meters, flooding every coastal city on the planet. By the end of this century, approximately 2/3 of world's glaciers will melt. There will also be a disruption of normal patterns of ocean circulation. When glaciers melt and ocean emerges, warm air temperature is created, which disrupt ocean circulation. Subsequently, floods and hurricanes become frequent, and this eventually comes down to both humans and animals being harmed. Unfortunately, it is irreversible to stop the glaciers from melting. But is there really no method to prevent the rapidly melting glaciers? There is a method to slow down the melting speed of glaciers. We have to reduce CO2 emissions and mitigate global warming as much as possible. Therefore, it is crucial for individuals to take small steps in reducing global warming. I suggest using water and electricity wisely, and also we have to produce energy by clean energy sources like wind and solar energy. that brings me to the end of my presentation. I hope you guys enjoyed my presentation and got to know more about the crisis of glaciers. Now I'm going to give you guys a short quiz. Name one primary reason of glacial melting.
Emissions of carbon dioxide, greenhouse gas emissions, and industrial revolution.
Yes, that industrial revolution contains these two factors. And number two, what can the disruption of ocean circulation lead to? It can lead to floods and hurricanes. Yeah. And number three, name one method to slow down global warming.
Using water and electricity wisely.
Yeah. Thank you for listening.